Welcome! I am so glad you're here. This video will serve as a brief introduction to the restorative practices training you are about to engage in. Whether this is your first encounter with restorative work or you're returning to deepen your understanding, this training offers an opportunity to reflect, to connect, and to grow together. This preparatory training includes a series of short videos and resources designed to prepare you for our in-person session. Each video introduces a key concept and is accompanied by reflection prompts and simple practices. We'll be going into all of these concepts in deeper depth in the following videos in this pre-training. I encourage you to begin as soon as possible, and you can do this by first by downloading the Restorative Practices Over Guide, read through it, and take time to answer the reflection questions at the end. This guide is your foundation for everything that we're going to be working with in this preparatory training and in the in-person training. And if you're part of the WhatsApp group, share your thoughts and questions there. What is restorative practices? Restorative practices is a social science that studies how to build strong relationships, deepen social connection, and foster accountability through inclusive processes. And restorative practices has a fundamental hypothesis developed by the International Institute for Restorative Practices, which is where I got my master's. And that hypothesis is that human beings are happier, more cooperative and productive, and more likely to make positive changes in their behavior when those in positions of authority do things with them rather than to them or for them. Restorative practices encompasses daily relationship building, responding to minor issues, and formal processes to repair harm. Restorative practices emphasizes this 80-20 principle. 80% of our effort, 80% of our practices should be proactive, building connection and culture before conflict arises. Restorative practices draws from social sciences of psychology, sociology, and anthropology. So one of the first concepts we're going to be working with in the training is what I call the social power window. This is adapted from the social discipline window, and it shows how different combinations of support and accountability impact relationships, and how we are using power within relationships. Fair process is a decision-making process used by and in restorative practices to build trust and collaboration. The fundamentals of fair process when making decisions are incorporating engagement, explanation, and expectation clarity. We're also going to be studying shame and affect. So understanding emotional responses helps communities navigate conflict and healing. Restorative practices exist on a continuum from informal affective statements to formal restorative conferences. So we're going to be working with each of these pieces we'll be introducing each of these pieces and explaining what they are about and how they're used in the training. We're also going to be working with the restorative questions. They're very fundamental in the restorative practices. And these are the two main sets of questions, and they support reflection and repair for those impacted and those whose actions had an impact with harm. And lastly, we're going to look at some implementation guidelines. Implementation really involves choosing the right tool, preparing the space, and then facilitating the conversations that are chosen with care. So let's get started. Begin by reading the overview guide and completing the reflection questions that are included in the guide, and then move through each video in the training series. Bring your questions and your experiences and your whole self into the process. And I look forward to being in person with you soon. Bye.